take a moment to arrive here. You don't need to bring opinions or answers or certainty. Just yourself. This message isn't meant to persuade you. It's meant to meet you where you are. So let the noise settle for a moment. And listen. I'm not going to tell you to be positive in this video. I'm not going to tell you to choose love. And I'm not going to pretend that everything happening in the world right now is okay. This isn't a motivational message. And it's not here to fix you. There's something I want to name in this video that most people never hear. And it doesn't really make sense until the end. So for now, just listen. There is a level of fear in the world right now that people are trying very hard not to feel. You can see it in how quickly conversations turn aggressive. In how unsafe it feels to be uncertain. In how easily people dehumanize each other. Underneath all of it is the same quiet thought. You might be thinking, something is wrong. And I don't know who to trust. So people armor up. With anger. With certainty. With sides. Not because they're cruel. But because they don't feel safe being human anymore. Here's the part almost no one says out loud. Most of what we're calling hatred right now is unprocessed fear. Fear that never had a place to land. Pain that was never witnessed. Wounds harden into control because control feels safer than vulnerability. When people don't feel safe inside themselves, they reach for power instead. Not because they're evil, but because they're terrified. And history has shown us what happens when fear is allowed to lead. There's something else happening right now that's much quieter. People are pointing at each other's flaws, calling out what's wrong, naming what should be fixed. But very few people are stopping long enough to ask whether the thing they're reacting to is something they're still working through themselves. That doesn't make anyone bad. It makes us human. Pain looks for somewhere to go. And if we don't sit with it, it gets projected outward. That's how judgment starts to feel like certainty. And certainty starts to feel like safety. Every ancient wisdom tradition warned us about this moment. Not about technology. Not about politics. But about what happens to humans when fear replaces connection. Because when fear runs the nervous system, empathy looks dangerous, softness looks weak, and love gets dismissed as unrealistic. The moment humans abandon love in the name of survival, they become capable of anything. And that's when the world starts to feel unsafe for everyone. So let me say the thing people actually need to hear right now. You are not broken for feeling overwhelmed by this world. You are not weak for wanting safety. And you are not naive for wanting kindness. That means your humanity is still intact. Love was never meant to be a feeling. It was meant to be a stabilizing force. Love is what keeps fear from deciding who we become. Love is what stops pain from turning into cruelty. Love is the refusal to let the world turn you into something unrecognizable to yourself. That is strength. So maybe this isn't about fixing the world. Maybe it's about being a little more careful with what we hand to it. Because not everything we feel needs to be passed on. If something is rooted in fear, in anger, in unresolved pain, you're allowed to keep that and tend to it privately. You don't owe the world your wounds. What you do offer, what you carry forward, matters. So if you have patience, bring that. If you have kindness, bring that. If you have compassion, bring that. And if all you can manage some days is not adding more harm, that counts. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being conscious. So wherever you go, whoever you encounter, in ways big or small, spread love and light wherever you go. Not because the world is in turmoil, but because choosing not to harden is one of the bravest things a human can do. And that choice, quiet and unseen, still matters. You still matter, and you can bring forth the positive change that humanity is starving for.